Hey guys, Bruce the Budget Aquarist here. Hope you're all doing well. If you're seeing this on May the 4th, then hey, May the 4th be with you. Love that stupid joke. Hey guys, just wanted to share something with you. I'm doing a little genetic testing showing, trying to see what happens when I breed different type of Plecostomus together. Nothing really scientific because I don't know the history of some of these plecos, so I don't know if the strain is really a pure strain, which probably it isn't, because most of these are plecos I've bought from local fish stores over the time. But anyways, I'm breeding some browns and some calicos and some marbled plecos, also albinos, obviously. Then also trying to breed in some long fins just to see what kind of combinations I get over time. But something interesting happened when, or at least I observed something interesting happening after I bred a kind of a marbled brown bristlenose with an albino, and they had babies. And I just wanted to share it with you because I found it really interesting. This is something that if you are a breeder that uses no substrate and you just have a glass bottom to your tanks, you may never notice this about these, but I found it interesting and I hope you do too. Okay, so the story starts out with these little clay Pleco caves that I make out of a product called Sculpey clay. I did a video on them in the past. These are new ones I haven't cleaned up yet, but I use these in all of my tanks. My plecos love them. Here's one I painted, made it a little fancier. Alright, so here's the dad. I call it a calico, although it doesn't have a lot of orange color in it. It's not a solid bunch of blocks of color like I would consider more of a marbled texture. This one definitely has calico patterns in it. And then this is the mom, and she's a typical albino with, as you can see, pink or red eyes, which indicate it is indeed an albino. And I'm almost to the interesting part, but I also want to show you what it looks like then when the babies are inside the cave. And I have to do this in very short spurts because it makes the plecos nervous, the adults, and you don't want them hurting the babies, getting scared or anything. So you just take short videos, not a lot of time, just kind of take a quick peek in there and see what they're up to. Now keep in mind, these are very young, so it's kind of tough to tell, and you can't see on the underside, but it looks like there's quite a bit of browns and there's quite a bit of albinos. And this is kind of what I expected because the calico is a recessive trait and the albino is also a recessive trait. So I have about a 50-50 split. Alright, so now this is where it really got interesting, and again I say this is something that you would not notice if you were just breeding these in a glass bottom tank with a couple pleco caves. But I started watching to see how many babies there were, albinos and browns, when they started coming out of the cave. So once I noticed the plecos were no longer in the cave, I started looking around in the tank to see what I could find and try to count them. And what I found was lots and lots of albinos. Albinos were all over outside, really just covering the glass. There was no part of the front or the back of the tank that there weren't albino plecos. And I found this really odd. I was quite worried that maybe genetically the males had died off. This can actually happen. So I kept looking around. And as you can see in the video, there were albinos everywhere. They were on the rocks down below. They were on the substrate. Here they are on top of these pieces of slate. Just really everywhere. And I was really disappointed because I liked the kind of calico look and was hoping to get some of those. In fact, I'd like to take some of the babies and rebreed them back with my male calico at some point and try to get some interesting combinations. So I was pretty depressed noticing all these albinos around. And then I noticed I saw a little something moving around down on the bottom of the tank. So I grabbed a flashlight to shine under here. And lo and behold, there are the browns. So for some reason, and I have no explanation of it, the browns are all hiding. They are not out and about. I saw a couple of them out and about. But in general, the browns had all gone to a place where they were down in the crevices. You can see them down in there. And they were not out and about like the albinos. I found this incredibly interesting. If you look at, if these were out in the wild, would the albinos be healthier because they would go out and find more food sources? Or would they be less populous because maybe they were eaten or killed off by other fish because they were more adventuresome? But as you can see here, there's tons of blacks. They're just all down hiding and don't want to be out in the light at all. So again, it does appear I have my 50-50 mix, which I assumed. The browns are just hiding. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you found that interesting. I thought it was cool enough to share with you. Do me a favor, if you like the video, subscribe. If you would like me to check out your videos and subscribe to your channels, please leave me a note down in the comments below. I watch a lot of people's videos and will be more than happy to check your stuff out too. So thanks again, and all the best to you.